Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I have a story that's really shaking up the NFC East and honestly, could have huge repercussions for the Washington Commanders in the upcoming season. It's a move that's been brewing beneath the surface, and now it's finally coming into focus. So buckle up because what I'm about to tell you might just change how we see the division, the team, and the entire landscape of the NFL. First off, let me set the stage. The Commanders, as you know, are entering their second season with Jayden Daniels under center. A young quarterback with a lot of potential, but he's still got a lot to prove in the league. The key to his success, as always, is surrounding him with talent, especially at the wide receiver position. Last season, we saw some promise, but it's clear that the team needs to bolster that group if they want to make a real push for the playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl. And that's where things get interesting because the front office has been faced with a tough decision: what to do about Terry McLaurin. Now, you all know Terry. He's been the heart and soul of the receiving corps, a guy who's consistently been one of the top targets for Washington. But here's the problem. The team delayed on getting a contract extension done with him, and as a result, McLaurin has requested a trade. That's never good news for a team that's trying to build continuity and chemistry. It's a real blow, especially since the team was hoping to keep him around for the long haul. But now, the reality is that Washington has to prepare for life without him, and that means they need to find a way to replace his production. This brings us to the big news, the potential trade that could reshape the division. Rumor has it that the Commanders are eyeing a blockbuster move for none other than Davante Adams. Yes, you heard that right. The same Davante Adams who's been one of the most prolific wide receivers in the league over the past few seasons. The guy who's known for his incredible route running, his ability to make contested catches, and his knack for finding the end zone. Adams could be the missing piece that the Commanders need to elevate their offense and give Jayden Daniels a true #1 target. But why Adams? Well, for starters, the Los Angeles Rams, who recently acquired Adams in a trade, are in a bit of a tricky spot. They made the move to bring him in, hoping to pair him with Puka Nacua, a promising young receiver with a bright future. But things haven't gone exactly as planned. Matthew Stafford, their starting quarterback, has been dealing with back soreness, which has sidelined him during training camp. If Stafford's injury extends into the season, the Rams could face a serious challenge. With their Super Bowl window narrowing, they might need to consider a rebuild or at least a partial rebuild, which often involves trading veteran players for draft capital. That's where the possibility of trading Adams comes into play. If the Rams decide that they can't contend this year, if Stafford's health remains uncertain, they could look to move Adams to a team that's ready to compete. And the best fit in this scenario is the Commanders. Adams, being a proven star, would thrive on a team that's building around a young, talented quarterback like Jayden Daniels. His route running, his ability to get open at the top of the curl or comeback routes, and his experience would be invaluable for Washington. Plus, Adams' presence would not only boost the offense, but also serve as a mentorship to the emerging talents on the team. Now, let's talk about what this move could mean for the Commanders' offense. With Adams in the fold, Washington would immediately have a proven, reliable target for Daniels to throw to. This could accelerate Jayden's development, giving him a go-to receiver who can make plays in critical moments. Adams' style of play, his precise routes, his physicality, and his knack for creating separation would complement the young quarterback's skill set perfectly. It's a dynamic duo that could turn heads across the league. And don't forget, Adams isn't just a deep threat. His ability to work the top of the curl or comeback routes and then transition into over-the-ball (OTB) routes makes him a versatile weapon. He can line up anywhere on the field, and his chemistry with a quarterback is second to none. For Washington, adding a player of Adams' caliber would send a clear message: we're serious about competing now, and we're willing to make bold moves to get there. Of course, the Rams aren't just going to give Adams away without a fight. they'll want draft capital in return, which could turn into multiple picks or even a player or two that could help them rebuild. The key point here is the timing. If Stafford's injury situation doesn't improve and the Rams decide they're out of the playoff race, a trade for Adams makes perfect sense for everyone involved. The Rams get draft picks to rebuild around their future quarterback, and the Commanders get a star receiver who can change the trajectory of their offense instantly. Now, turning back to Washington, this move could also have a ripple effect on the division. The Eagles and Cowboys are both powerhouse teams, and adding a player like Adams could give the Commanders the edge they need in key matchups. It's about gaining that extra advantage, that spark that turns a good team into a great one. With Adams on the roster, defenses would have their hands full trying to cover him, especially considering the potential for explosive plays and clutch catches. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. The NFL is a league of adjustments, of strategic moves, and of bold decisions. The Commanders have been patient with their core players, but sometimes, patience runs out when you see an opportunity to improve the team immediately. Bringing Adams into the fold isn't just about adding a receiver, it's about signaling to the league, to the fans, and to the players that this organization is serious about winning now. And speaking of the team's future, don't forget that the current roster has some promising young talent. Jaden Daniels, with a reliable target like Adams, could develop faster and become the franchise quarterback everyone hopes he can be. The offensive line, which has shown flashes of strength, will also need to protect their new weapon and give him the time to make plays. The coaching staff will have to design schemes that maximize Adams' abilities while also leveraging the speed and agility of the other receivers like Puka Nacua. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Moving on from Terry McLaurin, if that's how it ends up happening, might feel like a step back initially. But if the team can replace that production with someone like Adams, it could be a strategic move to elevate the overall quality of the receiving core. Plus, the cap space and draft picks gained in such a trade could be used to build depth and address other needs on the roster, making the team more competitive in the long run. And let's not forget, the NFL offseason is always full of surprises. We've seen trades like this shake up the league before, and every time it sparks new hope and excitement for the fans. Washington fans, this could be one of those moments, an offseason move that sets the tone for years to come. It's about making bold decisions, about understanding that sometimes, taking a risk can lead to the biggest rewards. As we look ahead to the upcoming season, the buzz around the league suggests that the Commanders are not just sitting back and waiting. No, they're actively exploring options to reinforce their roster to make sure Jaden Daniels has everything he needs to succeed. Adding Adams would be a clear statement. We're here to compete, and we're here to win. So, in summary, folks, this potential trade for Davante Adams could be a game-changer for the Washington Commanders. It's about upgrading the offense, giving Jaden Daniels a premier receiver, and perhaps even shifting the balance of power in the NFC East. It's a move that could define the team's trajectory for years to come, and if it happens, you can bet it will be one of the biggest stories of the NFL offseason. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this potential move? Would you love to see Davante Adams in Washington? Do you believe this could be the spark that takes the Commanders to the next level? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters to us and to the future of this team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. We're in an exciting offseason, and the best is yet to come. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep the faith strong, Commanders fans.